Is gaming with my young niece weird? I'm a 36-year-old male and my niece is 9. We both like video games and often play together online Minecraft, Roblox, etc. As an aside, I find the games mildly entertaining, but she enjoys them, and as I'm playing to bond with her, I tolerate them. She plays on Xbox at her home, me on my PC at my home. Her parents know this. I see all of my nieces regularly and I have a good relationship with her mom, my sister. I watch my language, admonish her when suitable, and keep everything strictly EPG. I like my niece, and given that she has shown signs of depression and is likely on the spectrum test, wait time are no joke. I also like the idea of being there to support her. Is this normal or weird? I'm not good at knowing these things, specifically social stuff. My mom would normally give me advice on this stuff, but she died early last year. Comments. I think it's awesome. This is awesome. It sounds incredibly wholesome and a wonderful way to bond. Exactly what I would want from an uncle for my girls. I do this exact thing to bond with my nephew. Because we are far away, the genders are just reversed. I love him and we are pretty close, but he's just not much of a phone talker. So this allows us a way to interact from a distance and still stay emotionally close to each other. With the amount of predatory sexual harassment young women face, I think there's a lot of benefit for them to have healthy platonic relationships with men of good character to role model what normal friendships are supposed to be like, especially in the gaming community. It's also to have a good uncle keeping an eye on players around her and intervene when necessary. Like I wasn't this kid's uncle or anything, but like I was already an adult, just turned 18, but still an adult. He was being groomed by a pedo creep who apparently had CP on his computer. I got involved because he was a minor and this guy was way too old, weird, and into kids younger than him. So I got the FBI involved. But also don't be that overprotective male relative, threatening to shoot the boys because they clearly like her or something. It's already pretty weird when a dad does that, even weirder when an uncle is like that. But remember, you are an adult, so you have to be an adult at all times, and remember that too. Many of these kids don't have an adult in the room, and that can lead to bad things. Definitely not weird in my opinion. It sounds like you're just being a very good uncle. I had a friend with a niece who for her birthday went to Build-A-Bear and had some sort of special deal she got where she got 2 bears for less than what it normally cost. My friend couldn't make it to see her for her birthday because he was out of state for work, but had taken her to go putt-putt golfing, something she loved to do the week before. My friend Sil had a voicemail from my friend where he'd called to set up taking her out for putt-putt golfing, and at the end of it he said, "I love you, niece's name. You're easily the best thing in my life." His Sil got one of the bears with that recording put into it and another one with a recording of the niece, saying that she loved her uncle friend's name and that he was her favorite person. Both bears got dressed up and decorated to look like the respective person. When my friend got back from working, niece gave him the one with her voice recording. He loved that thing to death. He passed away a few years ago, and his niece, who is in high school now, has both stuffed bears, and she, from what I understand, gives the bear with her uncle's voice a squeeze when she wakes up and before she goes to bed, and will often snuggle with it when she's sad. People tend to vastly underestimate just how close aunts, uncles, and their nibblings can get. Hell, my mom's younger sister was only 15 when I was born, and she's always acted more like my older sister than my aunt, and her youngest child has always treated me more like a big brother than a cousin, in no small part due to the fact that we have a similar age gap that her mom and I had, and she grew up hearing about how her mom and I basically interacted like siblings. Thanks for making me cry.
Is it normal to pee in the pool? I 22F was out with a friend 22F and her other friend 24F. Somehow, peeing in the pool came up and my friend was like, "I mean, if I have to go, I obviously just do it." Her friend agreed and they looked at me like I'm crazy when I was like, they said that's why there's so much chlorine in pools. ITK, maybe it's a Florida thing. Pee in the pool and nobody bats an eye. Pee into the pool and everybody loses their minds. I dated an NCAA swimmer back in undergrad and I asked her about this and she said that they all just peed in the pool at Practice BC. It would take too long and be too difficult with their training suits not to. I swam in the Junior Olympics. Taking off and putting on a wet swimsuit is actually hell. That's why I pulled mine to the side instead of taking it all the way off. I was the only one who ever took pee breaks though. I spent 40 years being annoyed at taking a wet swimsuit off to pee until my BF asked why I don't just pull it to the side. My mind went places so obvious and yet I had never thought of it. Can confirm, played NCAA water polo. Also, if you tell your coach you have to get out of practice to pee, you'll likely get more laps to swim later. We were in the pool for 8 hours a day during hell weeks and tournaments. No way could you leave every time you had to pee, and since you're exercising, you're hydrating like crazy, so you have to pee. It was a courtesy to your fellow teammates to move slightly away from them to pee, but not enough to let your coach know that you were taking a moment to not focus on the sport. It's kind of fucked up that they treated you that way. Professional sports are fucked up in a lot of ways. Mark Robber did a video on how pools get their distinct smell from a mix of pee and chlorine in the water. Still don't know how to feel about that. Pee contributes, but you'll actually still get tons of chloramines the moment people enter the pool regardless. The bigger contributors are skin, sweat, and oils. Pee just seems to solicit a more visceral response from people and gets emphasized disproportionately. Basically, if chloramines and nastiness bother you, you should probably just stay away from the pool in general. Pool guy here. If you can smell the chlorine from outside the pool, there is a lot of pee in that pool. It's not the chlorine, but ammonia reacting to chlorine putting off that smell. So the times I've been to a hotel and can smell the pool from across the hotel, it's because it's loaded with pee, not chlorine. If you go to a community pool outside and there is a lot of people and it smells, it's pee. Sweat, skin oils, and pee. The byproduct of those items and chlorine, if over-ingested, gives you the runs. The eating and swimming thing is really ingesting too much pool water.